Have you ever felt that quiet frustration deep inside? The one that whispers, I know I could be more, but something always holds me back. That feeling isn't weakness, it's a signal. It's the voice of your potential, trying to push through layers of doubt, fear, and hesitation. Right now, as you sit here, you might be carrying the weight of unfulfilled dreams, goals left unfinished, or ideas that never saw the light of day. And yet, beneath that heaviness, there's a spark, a small, insistent voice telling you that you are capable of so much more. That spark is why you are here. That spark is why this moment matters. Imagine what it would feel like to step into your fullest potential, to move through life with clarity, confidence, and unstoppable energy. Imagine waking up each morning knowing that every action you take is aligned with your best self, that every challenge you face only strengthens your resolve. That feeling isn't just a fantasy, it's possible. But it starts with understanding something most people overlook. Doing your best is not about perfection. It's not about flawless execution or waiting for the right moment. It's about showing up fully, intentionally, and courageously, even when the odds are stacked against you. And the first step toward that transformation begins in your mind. Your mind is the battlefield where most victories are won or lost. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak to yourself shapes the energy you bring into your day. When doubt creeps in, it tries to convince you that your best isn't good enough. But here's the truth. Your best is not a fixed standard. It grows with your courage, your effort, and your persistence. Doing your best is a choice you make in every moment, and it begins by believing that you are capable of growth, change, and greatness. When you embrace this belief, you unlock the first of the 12 secrets that will guide you, not just to perform, but to thrive. There's an incredible reward waiting on the other side of this choice. By committing to your best, you step into a life where regrets shrink and confidence expands. You start to notice the small victories that once went unnoticed. You feel the thrill of progress even when the path is steep, and most importantly, you become a force that inspires others, whether they realize it or not. Every action taken with intention, every effort pushed beyond comfort creates momentum that compounds into results you once thought were impossible. So take a deep breath and feel that spark inside you. It's your potential calling. Every second you spend doubting or waiting is a second lost from becoming the person you were meant to be. In the next moments, as we explore the first secret to doing your best, you'll discover a mindset shift that rewires your thinking, ignites your energy, and sets the foundation for consistent excellence. By staying with this journey, you're not just learning strategies, you're stepping into a version of yourself that acts, persists, and rises above every obstacle. This is your chance to transform frustration into purpose, hesitation into action, and dreams into reality. The journey starts now, and your first step is already here. Your mind is more powerful than you realize. Every thought, every belief, every word you tell yourself becomes the foundation of your actions. If you believe you are limited, then limits will shape your world. If you believe you are capable, then doors begin to open that once seemed sealed shut. Doing your best starts with mastering this inner dialogue. You must become conscious of the stories you tell yourself, the excuses you cling to, and the fears you let dominate your decisions. These are the invisible chains that hold most people back, and breaking them requires courage, honesty, and relentless awareness. Picture the moments when you've held back, not because the world said no, but because a quiet voice inside whispered doubt. That voice can be transformed. Every time you recognize it, every time you refuse to obey it, you grow stronger. You build resilience. You expand what is possible. This is not a one-time action. It is a daily commitment, a conscious choice to steer your mind instead of being steered by it. Excellence is not granted. It is cultivated through this disciplined mental awareness. The stronger your mind becomes, the more effortless it is to consistently perform at your highest level, no matter the challenges or distractions around you. Focus is your ally. The world is filled with noise, with endless demands pulling you in every direction. If you scatter your energy, if you allow yourself to drift from one distraction to the next, your best will always feel just out of reach. But when you anchor yourself in purpose, when you direct your thoughts and your actions with precision, you ignite momentum. Focus is not simply concentration, it is the alignment of intention, desire, and effort into a single, unstoppable force. And the more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. You begin to notice opportunities you would have missed, solutions that once seemed invisible, and a clarity that guides your steps with confidence and decisiveness. Confidence grows from action, not from waiting. Too often, people postpone their best performance until they feel ready, until conditions are perfect. The truth is, readiness is an illusion. The world will never be perfectly aligned. You will never feel completely fearless. But action transforms fear into fuel, hesitation into momentum, and uncertainty into clarity. Each time you act from courage, no matter how small the step, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You train your mind to trust in your own strength. You give yourself permission to rise above limitations. Every effort you make compounds. The small choices you make in the quiet, unseen moments build the foundation for extraordinary achievements. Each morning you decide to focus. Each time you refuse the easy escape of doubt. Each effort to push beyond comfort. It all accumulates into the life you are capable of creating. Your best is not an event. It is a habit, a lifestyle, a relentless commitment to improvement. When you embrace this principle, you start to see the world differently. Obstacles no longer intimidate you. Challenges become invitations. And the life that once felt distant and impossible begins to feel not only attainable, but inevitable. The key is to start now, to confront the limiting thoughts, to seize control of your focus, and to act courageously, even when fear looms. When you do, you step into a rhythm of excellence, a cycle of growth that no external circumstance can break. Your mind becomes your greatest ally, your focus becomes your weapon, and your actions become the proof of your untapped potential. The life you desire, the version of yourself capable of true greatness, is waiting for the decision you are about to make in this very moment. Discipline is the bridge between potential and achievement. Talent alone will never carry you to the heights you are capable of reaching. Motivation is fleeting, and inspiration alone cannot sustain a relentless pursuit of excellence. But discipline, true unwavering discipline, ensures that you show up every day, regardless of how you feel, regardless of obstacles, regardless of the circumstances. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Freedom from excuses, freedom from regret, freedom from the frustration of wondering what could have been if only you had given more. When you cultivate discipline, you claim ownership over your life. You take control over the direction of your growth, your performance, and your legacy. Every great achievement is rooted in repeated, intentional actions performed consistently over time. One act of effort may seem small, almost meaningless, but the compound effect of showing up day after day is unstoppable. Excellence is built not in moments of comfort or convenience, but in moments when you push past resistance, when you choose action over ease, courage over hesitation, persistence over surrender. Each time you exercise discipline, you strengthen not only your body and skills, but your character. You reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling challenges, of conquering fear, and of pushing beyond what you once thought was your limit. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you inhabit, and the routines you follow either elevate you or drain you. If you want to do your best, you must protect your energy. You must create conditions where growth is inevitable, where focus is supported, where your ambitions are nurtured rather than sabotaged. This requires intention. It requires honesty. It requires the courage to distance yourself from negativity, distractions, and influences that diminish your potential. When you align your environment with your purpose, you remove friction and you allow your efforts to flow with clarity, power, and efficiency. Fear is a shadow that lingers, attempting to paralyze your progress. But fear is not your enemy, it is a signal. It tells you where growth is waiting, where opportunity exists, and where your courage can expand. The people who consistently perform at their best do not eliminate fear. They move through it. They transform fear into energy, into focus, into action. When you confront fear directly, when you take bold steps, even when uncertainty looms, you reclaim your power. Each act of bravery reinforces your belief in your own capability, and every time you resist the pull of fear, you move closer to the life you are capable of creating. Consistency is the heartbeat of mastery. Talent fades without practice, motivation wanes without action, but consistent effort, focused intent, and disciplined habits create unstoppable momentum. Each repetition, each choice to persevere, each decision to rise above comfort strengthens your resolve and magnifies your results. The world may try to convince you that your best is limited by circumstance, by talent, or by luck, but the truth is that your best is defined by the courage, discipline, and consistency you bring to every single day. When you commit fully, when you align your actions with your purpose and refuse to yield to fear or distraction, you tap into a power within yourself that is greater than any obstacle, greater than any doubt, and greater than any challenge. This is where transformation begins. This is where potential becomes reality. This is where you step into the life you were meant to live. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. In this very moment, through every disciplined, courageous choice you make. Your energy is your most valuable asset. Every thought, every emotion, every action consumes it, and how you manage it determines the quality of your life and the results you achieve. You cannot give your best if your energy is scattered, depleted, or misaligned. Excellence requires vitality, focus, and an unshakable inner drive. That drive comes from understanding that your mind and body are connected, that nurturing both is not optional but essential. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and mental clarity are not luxuries. They are non-negotiable pillars that sustain your ability to perform at your highest level. The moment you start treating your energy as sacred, everything changes. You begin to notice how small, seemingly insignificant decisions affect your capacity to act, to think, and to thrive. Each late night, each distraction, each moment spent resisting self-care chips away at your potential. But every conscious choice to recharge, refocus, and realign amplifies your power. You create a foundation from which your best can emerge naturally without forcing it. Energy is the fuel for action, and action is the currency of achievement. When you learn to protect, cultivate, and direct it, you unlock momentum that no challenge can stop. Focus is not merely a skill, it is a superpower. In a world filled with constant noise, your ability to concentrate on what truly matters determines your progress. Every interruption, every fleeting distraction steals not just minutes, but momentum, confidence, and clarity. The best performers know this. They structure their days, their minds, and their surroundings to protect their focus like a precious resource. When you align your energy with your purpose and eliminate what drains you, you enter a state where action feels effortless, where clarity sharpens every decision, and where every step you take propels you closer to your ultimate potential. Your emotions are allies, not enemies. Fear, doubt, and frustration are signals, indicators that you are on the edge of growth. When you feel discomfort, it is not a reason to retreat. It is proof that transformation is occurring. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are those who harness their emotions, who refuse to be controlled by them, and who channel that energy into persistent action. Each time you feel resistance and choose to act anyway, you reinforce a neural pathway of courage, resilience, and unstoppable momentum. Over time, this becomes second nature, and your capacity to perform your best expands exponentially. Clarity of purpose amplifies everything. Without a clear why, effort becomes scattered, motivation fades, and energy leaks away. But when you define your purpose, your reason for striving, growing, and pushing past fear, it becomes a guiding force that fuels your every action. Purpose creates alignment. It transforms effort into meaning. It transforms discipline into freedom. When you anchor your energy, your focus, and your emotions to a clearly defined goal, you unlock a power that is beyond mere talent or circumstance. Every decision you make, every choice to protect your energy, to focus with precision, to harness your emotions, and to act with purpose compounds into momentum that shapes the trajectory of your life. You are not limited by external conditions. You are defined by the internal mastery you cultivate. When you take full responsibility for your energy, When you choose to align it with your highest intentions, you begin performing at levels you once believed were impossible. Your potential is waiting, and the moment you commit to nurturing it, everything within you rises to meet the challenge. Your habits shape your destiny more than any single decision ever could. Every action you repeat, every pattern you reinforce, creates the architecture of your future. Small choices, when compounded day after day, produce extraordinary results. Yet most people underestimate the power of these daily rituals. They wait for grand moments or monumental inspiration, believing that greatness comes in bursts. But the truth is, excellence is forged quietly, consistently, in the repetition of intentional actions that align with your highest goals. Your habits are the invisible engine driving your success, and mastery begins the moment you take full control over them. Discipline without strategy is wasted energy. It is not enough to simply push yourself. You must push yourself in the right direction. Every habit should be intentionally designed to support your purpose, to amplify your focus, and to enhance your energy. Eating well, moving daily, prioritizing rest, and dedicating time to growth are not just routines. They are investments in your capacity to perform at your peak. When you consciously craft your habits, you create a framework where your best becomes inevitable, not a fleeting effort. Each repetition reinforces the belief that you are capable, that you are committed, and that you refuse to settle for mediocrity. Consistency is the multiplier of effort. A single act of excellence is fleeting. But when you show up again and again, when you repeat disciplined actions without fail, momentum accumulates and compounds into unstoppable force. The challenges that once seemed insurmountable begin to feel manageable. The fear that once paralyzed you begins to dissolve. The doubt that once lingered in the corners of your mind loses its grip. Your habits are not just behaviors, they are the proof of your commitment to growth, the evidence that you refuse to be defined by limitation, and the foundation upon which your best life is built. Mindset and habits are inseparable. The way you think dictates the actions you repeat, and the actions you repeat reinforce the beliefs you hold. If you cultivate habits rooted in positivity, discipline, and courage, your mind adapts and strengthens to support them. You develop resilience, focus, and confidence that becomes automatic. Your body and your mind align, creating a flow state where effort feels natural, decisions become clear, and progress accelerates. Excellence becomes less about struggle and more about alignment. Alignment between who you are, what you value, and what you do every single day. Every choice you make today is a vote for the person you become tomorrow. When you act with intention, when you refuse to allow laziness, distraction, or fear to dictate your behavior, you reinforce the version of yourself that thrives. You are training your brain, your body, and your spirit to respond not to comfort, but to purpose. Each habit you establish, each routine you protect, each discipline you uphold compounds into a life that is more powerful, more meaningful, and more aligned with your potential than you ever imagined possible. The power of habits lies in their invisibility. They quietly shape your identity, define your reality, and create the momentum that propels you forward. When you commit to crafting habits that serve your highest self, you step into a cycle of growth that no external circumstance can derail. Your best is not determined by luck or fleeting inspiration. It is determined by the choices you repeat consistently, intentionally, and courageously. Every habit, every repetition, every act of disciplined focus brings you closer to the extraordinary life you are capable of creating. Your future is being written by the choices you make today, and the power to shape it lies entirely in your hands. Focus is the lens through which your potential becomes visible. Without it, effort scatters, energy dissipates, and results remain elusive. The world constantly competes for your attention, tempting you with distractions, interruptions, and noise that pull you away from what matters most. Every time you give in, you dilute your power, fragment your momentum, and postpone the life you are capable of creating. To do your best, you must guard your focus with relentless vigilance. You must learn to direct it intentionally, like a laser beam cutting through darkness, illuminating only the path that leads to your highest goals. Clarity and focus are inseparable. If you are unclear about your priorities, your energy will be scattered, and your results will suffer. When you define what truly matters, every choice becomes easier. Every action gains weight. Every decision aligns with your purpose. Focus is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters most consistently with intensity and precision. It is about filtering out the noise, resisting the pull of distraction, and dedicating your mind, body, and energy to the tasks that create the greatest impact. Distractions are more than interruptions. They are subtle thieves of your potential. Every notification, every unnecessary engagement, every moment spent on what is trivial steals momentum from your life. To perform at your best, you must take control of your attention. Protect it as fiercely as you protect your time. Guard your mental space. Create boundaries that allow your focus to flow uninterrupted, and you will find that the quality of your work, the speed of your progress, and the depth of your impact multiply exponentially. Focus also requires resilience. The mind is naturally restless, and clarity is not a permanent state. It is something you cultivate, moment by moment. When distractions arise, when fatigue sets in, when doubt creeps into your thoughts, you must gently, but firmly, return to the task that matters most. Each act of redirecting your attention strengthens your mental muscles, sharpens your clarity, and reinforces the belief that you are capable of controlling your mind instead of being controlled by it. This is where true power is built, not in moments of ease, but in moments of resistance and deliberate action. Deep focus ignites flow, a state where effort becomes seamless, performance becomes natural, and achievement accelerates. In this stage, your energy is fully aligned with your purpose, your habits support your actions, and your potential manifests effortlessly. The distractions that once held you back lose their power, and the life you envision becomes attainable because you are no longer scattered, no longer hesitant, and no longer passive. You are fully present, fully committed, and fully in command of your progress. The people who consistently perform at their highest level understand this. They know that focus is not optional. It is essential. They recognize that protecting their attention, cultivating clarity, and resisting distraction are the foundations of extraordinary performance. When you adopt this mindset, when you commit to unwavering focus, you give yourself a profound advantage over those who drift through life distracted, reactive, and uncertain. Every day, every choice, every moment you dedicate to focused action compounds into mastery. Your potential is vast, and your results will reflect the clarity and intensity with which you choose to apply your focus. Courage is the engine that turns intention into action. Without it, even the clearest purpose and sharpest focus remain trapped in the realm of possibility. Every step toward greatness demands courage, not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Fear is not a barrier. It is a signal, a sign that you are on the edge of growth. Each time you feel fear, hesitation, or uncertainty, recognize it as a doorway. Beyond it lies the version of yourself capable of doing more, achieving more, and becoming more than you ever imagined. Action in the presence of fear rewires your mind. It builds resilience, confidence, and momentum that cannot be achieved through comfort alone. Every courageous step, no matter how small, strengthens your neural pathways of bravery, making it easier to act again and again, even in the face of uncertainty. The people who consistently perform at their best do not wait for fear to vanish. They move forward while it is present, transforming fear into fuel and doubt into determination. Courage is not the absence of challenge. It is the deliberate choice to rise above it. Risk is inseparable from progress. Playing it safe may feel comfortable in the moment, but it guarantees stagnation over time. To reach your highest potential, you must embrace calculated risks, challenge assumptions, and step into situations that stretch your capabilities. Each risk you take is an investment in your growth. It is a declaration that you refuse to settle for mediocrity, that you are willing to step into the discomfort of the unknown, because you recognize that nothing extraordinary is achieved without it. Failure is not the enemy. It is a teacher. Every misstep, every setback, every rejection carries information that accelerates your growth if you are willing to absorb it. The most successful people do not avoid failure. They navigate it with intention, extract lessons from it, and use it as a ladder to climb higher. When you embrace failure as part of the process, you remove the paralyzing fear that keeps so many trapped in hesitation. Courage thrives in this mindset because you no longer see the possibility of falling as the end. You see it as the beginning of learning, adaptation, and ultimate mastery. Commitment amplifies courage. When your actions are fueled by unwavering dedication to your purpose, fear loses its grip. You begin to move with a clarity and intensity that transcends doubt. Challenges become opportunities, obstacles become training grounds. Every step forward reinforces the belief that you are capable of more than you ever imagined, that your potential is not determined by external circumstances, but by the depth of your commitment and the bravery with which you pursue it. Courage is contagious within yourself. Each act of bravery reinforces your identity as someone who moves forward, someone who refuses to be paralyzed, someone who consistently chooses action over hesitation. It becomes a compounding force, shaping every decision, every habit, every focus, and every step you take toward excellence. Your best self is not created in moments of safety. It is forged in moments of courage, persistence, and relentless action. When you choose courage over comfort, you unlock the power to perform at levels previously thought impossible. Your mindset determines the trajectory of every action, every choice, and every outcome in your life. It is the lens through which you interpret the world, the filter that colors every challenge, every opportunity, and every moment of doubt. A fixed mindset convinces you that your abilities are limited, that effort is futile, and that failure defines you. A growth mindset, on the other hand, transforms obstacles into lessons, effort into leverage, and setbacks into stepping stones. The way you perceive your potential dictates whether you remain confined by fear or soar beyond expectation. Belief in yourself is the foundation of action. Without it, courage falters, focus drifts, and even the most meticulously crafted habits lose their power. Every great achievement begins with the simple, unshakable conviction that you are capable of more than you think. This belief fuels persistence when results are slow, fortifies patience when progress feels invisible, and ignites determination when others doubt you. Your mind will either lift you or limit you, depending entirely on the stories you tell yourself and the expectations you set. The internal dialogue you allow shapes your reality. Negative self-talk acts as a self-imposed barrier, quietly eroding confidence and diluting effort. Positive, empowering thoughts act as a catalyst, energizing your actions and aligning your focus with your highest goals. Every time you catch yourself doubting, every time you feel the pull of defeat, you have the choice to reframe, to redirect, and to assert control over the narrative of your life. Your mindset is not static. It is a muscle that strengthens with deliberate practice, reflection, and conscious effort. Resilience begins in the mind. Life will challenge you. Obstacles will rise. Setbacks will test your endurance. Your ability to navigate these trials is determined not by circumstances, but by the mental frameworks you cultivate. Optimism grounded in reality, confidence rooted in preparation, and flexibility built through reflection create a psychological armor that allows you to maintain momentum even when the external world resists. A strong mindset transforms difficulty into fuel, pressure into clarity, and doubt into deliberate action. Visualization amplifies performance. When you imagine yourself succeeding, when you feel the emotions, the energy, and the satisfaction of achievement before it happens, you prime your brain and body to act in alignment with that vision. This is wishful thinking. It is neurological conditioning. Your brain begins to recognize pathways to success, your body learns the rhythm of action, and your mind aligns your decisions with your highest goals. What you see vividly in your mind, you are more likely to manifest in reality. A growth-oriented mindset refuses stagnation. It seeks knowledge relentlessly, embraces feedback, and welcomes challenges as opportunities to evolve. It is the quiet force that drives you to improve daily, to push boundaries, and to demand more from yourself than anyone else could. By cultivating this mindset, you equip yourself to consistently perform at your best, turning potential into achievement, struggle into strength, and effort into extraordinary results. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny, and a mindset built for growth ensures that every day, every action, and every decision moves you closer to the life you are capable of creating. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Desire alone is fragile. It sparks motivation but fades under pressure. consistent action, guided by discipline, transforms dreams into results. Every day, every choice, every small act compounds into progress. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect, the acknowledgement that your potential deserves structure, consistency, and relentless effort. Without it, even the clearest vision remains a whisper in your mind, never translating into the life you are capable of creating. Habits are the scaffolding of discipline. The routines you build, the actions you repeat, and the systems you follow determine whether you stumble or soar. High performers understand that excellence is not achieved in moments of passion. It is built in the repeated, deliberate choices made when no one is watching. Every habit, no matter how small, carries weight. Each one either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you away. Discipline is the conscious alignment of your habits with your purpose, ensuring that every action you take is an investment in your growth and achievement. Resistance is inevitable. The mind will crave comfort, the body will seek rest, and external pressures will tempt you to quit. Discipline is the muscle that allows you to persist despite these forces. It is the inner voice that reminds you of your why, the force that compels you to take action even when motivation wavers. Every time you overcome resistance, you reinforce your capacity to persist. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses, and that your goals are more important than fleeting discomfort. Consistency magnifies results. Talent without follow-through is wasted. Ideas without implementation remain invisible. By committing to disciplined, consistent effort, you create momentum that compounds over time. Small actions, repeated daily, become habits. Habits build skill. Skill generates results. Results fuel confidence. Confidence reinforces commitment. This cycle, powered by discipline, transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. The power lies not in sporadic bursts, but in the relentless, unbroken rhythm of dedicated action. Accountability strengthens discipline. When you hold yourself to high standards, when you track progress, and when you confront laziness with honesty, your actions gain precision and intent. Discipline is not about rigidity. It is about clarity, responsibility, and respect for your own potential. The choices you make consistently define the trajectory of your life. By enforcing accountability, you eliminate the loopholes that erode progress, ensuring that every day contributes to the life you are building, rather than drifting away in distraction or hesitation. Discipline transforms fear into mastery. It allows you to face challenges with preparation, endurance, and purpose. It converts anxiety into structured action, uncertainty into deliberate progress, and hesitation into momentum. Those who perform at their best understand that discipline is not a limitation, it is liberation. It frees you from the tyranny of impulsive emotion, scattered attention, and inconsistent effort. It gives you control over your actions, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. By embracing discipline, you step into the full power of your potential and position yourself to consistently do your best, no matter the circumstances or challenges that arise. Focus is the lens through which your effort becomes powerful. Without it, energy disperses into distraction, and intentions dissolve into unfinished tasks. Every moment of divided attention reduces the impact of your actions, making progress slower and goals harder to reach. True focus is deliberate. It is the choice to direct your mind toward what matters most, to eliminate noise, and to anchor yourself in the present, fully engaged with the task that shapes your growth. Clarity fuels focus. When your purpose is defined and your goals are specific, the mind aligns effortlessly. Confusion clouds action, creating hesitation and uncertainty. But when you know exactly what you are aiming for, every decision becomes easier, every action becomes more precise, and every step gains momentum. Focus without clarity is scattered effort. Clarity without focus is wasted potential. Together, they create unstoppable force. Distractions are the enemy of excellence. Every notification, every casual interruption, and every temptation to defer action chips away at the energy needed to perform at your best. Protect your attention as you would protect your most valuable asset. Guard it with boundaries, structure, and intentionality. The more you control your focus, the more control you gain over your results. Every uninterrupted period of effort compounds, creating breakthroughs that seem impossible to those who allow their attention to wander. Flow emerges from deep focus. When the mind is fully immersed, when attention is undivided and energy is directed with intention, action becomes effortless. Challenges shrink, decisions become clear, and creativity flows. This state is not luck. It is cultivated by consistently prioritizing focus, removing distractions, and committing to presence. The more you practice focus, the easier it becomes to enter this state, and the more extraordinary your results will be. Prioritization strengthens focus. Not all tasks carry equal weight, and not all actions move you closer to your highest goals. The ability to discern what is essential, to tackle what matters most first, and to defer or delegate the rest amplifies impact. Focus is not just attention, it is strategic attention. By intentionally directing your energy to the few actions that yield the greatest results, you maximize every minute, every effort, and every opportunity. Discipline and focus are inseparable allies. Discipline creates the framework for action, and focus ensures that action is purposeful. Together, they transform potential into tangible results. Each day, as you cultivate the ability to concentrate deeply, as you protect your mind from fragmentation, you become capable of performing at levels that overwhelm those who scatter their effort. Your capacity to focus shapes not only what you achieve, but who you become, a person of purpose, intensity, and unshakable momentum. The mastery of focus transforms life itself. It allows you to harness your energy, channel your courage, and align your discipline with your most meaningful goals. When focus becomes habitual, when clarity guides every decision, and when distractions no longer dictate your attention, you operate at the peak of your potential. Every action becomes more powerful, every outcome more certain, and every moment an opportunity to move closer to the extraordinary life that awaits those who refuse to let their attention wander. Courage is the heartbeat of progress. Without it, potential remains dormant, and dreams are trapped behind walls of fear. Every breakthrough, every bold decision, every moment of growth requires stepping into the unknown, facing uncertainty, and refusing to let fear dictate action. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act despite it. It is the inner voice that whispers, "I will try, I will persist, I will rise," even when the outcome is unclear. Fear is a natural signal, not a permanent barrier. It alerts you to risk, but it does not have to control you. The mind often exaggerates danger, magnifying doubts and magnifying hesitation. Recognizing fear for what it is, a temporary response, a test of resolve, allows you to move forward with intention. Each time you face fear, you diminish its power. Each step into discomfort strengthens your resilience and expands the territory of your confidence. Action is the antidote to fear. The longer you wait for certainty, the stronger fear becomes. Those who perform at their best do not wait for perfect conditions, they act. They break inertia with decisive, committed steps, understanding that courage grows through doing, not through wishing. Momentum is born in motion. Every action taken in defiance of fear reinforces the belief that you are capable of more than you once imagined. Courage demands preparation, but it also demands release. You cannot control every variable, and you cannot predict every outcome. Trying to eliminate risk entirely leads only to paralysis. True courage balances preparation with trust. Trust in your skills, your judgment, and your capacity to adapt. It is the willingness to move forward, even when certainty is impossible, knowing that growth and achievement live beyond the comfort zone. Confidence feeds courage. The more you act, the more you learn. The more you prove to yourself that you are capable, the easier it becomes to face challenges. Confidence is built through consistent effort, repeated practice, and deliberate mastery of your craft. Each success, each obstacle overcome, each risk faced adds another layer to the foundation of unshakable courage. The cycle is powerful. Courage fuels action. Action builds competence. Competence grows confidence, and confidence strengthens future courage. Every decision to act boldly reshapes your identity. Courage is not just behavior, it is who you become. It rewires your mind to see possibilities rather than limitations, to approach challenges as opportunities rather than threats, and to embrace responsibility for the life you want. By choosing courage consistently, you claim ownership of your potential, transforming fear from a barrier into a catalyst for growth. Courage is contagious within yourself. Every bold action, every refusal to back down, reinforces inner strength and shapes a mindset that no obstacle can easily shake. It ignites a fire that pushes you to pursue your best relentlessly, to demand more from yourself than ever before, and to refuse compromise when it comes to your highest aspirations. Those who master courage understand that the life they dream of is forged not by comfort, but by the fearless pursuit of action, growth, and relentless determination. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without it, ambition remains a whisper, and potential fades into excuses. Every goal, every dream, every vision requires consistent action sustained over time. Discipline is the structure that channels your energy, the daily choices that shape your results, and the silent force that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. It is not glamorous, and it is often unseen, but it is unstoppable. Consistency is the heartbeat of discipline. Small actions repeated daily accumulate into remarkable transformation. It is not a single heroic effort that creates greatness, but the persistence to show up, even when motivation falters, even when excitement wanes. Each disciplined choice compounds, strengthening your habits, reinforcing your identity, and building the momentum that carries you forward. When you commit to consistency, you claim ownership of your future. Discipline requires self-awareness. It demands that you recognize what distracts you, what drains you, and what tempts you to abandon your path. Every compromise, every indulgence that deviates from your goals chips away at your potential. Awareness allows you to act intentionally, to choose effort over ease, to choose progress over comfort. The more conscious your choices, the more powerful your discipline becomes. Self-control is the engine of discipline. It is the ability to delay gratification, to endure discomfort, and to prioritize long-term success over immediate pleasure. Every moment you resist the easy path, every choice to push through resistance, strengthens your capacity to act decisively. Discipline grows in these moments, silently transforming you into someone who is capable of more than you once thought possible. Environment shapes discipline more than willpower alone. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals, with systems that encourage productivity, and with people who elevate your standards. Remove triggers that undermine your effort and replace them with structures that support progress. Discipline thrives in an environment designed to reinforce it. Each adjustment you make builds a framework where focus, effort, and action become effortless. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is lasting. Motivation is the spark that ignites action. Discipline is the steady flame that sustains it. Relying solely on emotion leaves you vulnerable to doubt, distraction, and fatigue. Relying on discipline turns effort into habit and habit into mastery. When you combine clarity of purpose with disciplined action, you create unstoppable momentum that carries you through obstacles and setbacks. Discipline shapes identity. Every act of self-mastery, every deliberate choice to do what must be done, reinforces who you are becoming. You are not defined by fleeting desires or temporary impulses. You are defined by your consistent commitment to excellence. The person you aspire to be is built not in moments of ease, but in moments of decision, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit. Through discipline, you transform potential into reality and effort into legacy. When discipline becomes a non-negotiable part of your life, every goal feels achievable, every challenge feels conquerable, and every dream becomes a destination within reach. It is the quiet power that fuels extraordinary performance, the hidden force behind those who achieve greatness, and the foundation on which your best life is built. With discipline as your guide, action becomes certain, progress becomes inevitable, and success becomes a natural consequence of your unwavering commitment. Focus is the lens through which potential becomes reality. Without it, effort scatters and energy dissipates into distractions, Every success, every accomplishment, every moment of peak performance requires undivided attention. Focus is not simply paying attention, it is choosing what matters, eliminating what doesn't, and giving your full presence to the task that moves you closer to your goals. The mind is easily tempted. Notifications, opinions, and endless obligations compete for your attention, pulling you away from what truly matters. Mastering focus means reclaiming your mental space. It means setting boundaries, prioritizing ruthlessly, and protecting the energy you need to create, perform, and grow. Each moment spent fully present strengthens your capacity to concentrate, turning ordinary effort into extraordinary progress. Clarity amplifies focus. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, distraction loses its grip. Vague goals leave the mind wandering, but a clear purpose acts as a compass, guiding your decisions and fueling your resolve. Every task, every choice, every action becomes deliberate. Focus is sharpened by understanding not only where you are going, but why it matters deeply to you. Distractions are not just external, they are internal. Doubt, fear, and indecision pull attention away from action, training the mind to return to the present, to the task at hand, to the work that matters, builds mental resilience. Focus is a muscle, strengthened through practice, patience, and intentionality. Every time you redirect your attention from noise to purpose, you deepen your capacity to perform at your best. Flow is the reward of focus. When attention is undivided, creativity, clarity, and productivity align. Tasks that once felt difficult become manageable, complex problems reveal solutions, and progress accelerates. Flow is the state where effort feels effortless, where time seems to bend, and where achievement becomes inevitable. It is the natural outcome of sustained focus applied to meaningful work. Discipline and focus are inseparable allies. Discipline structures your actions, but focus ensures your energy is directed where it counts. Without focus, discipline can become mechanical, efficient, but misaligned. With focus, every act of discipline compounds into tangible results. Attention becomes the multiplier of effort, the secret ingredient that transforms routine into excellence. Focus also shapes identity. A person who consistently chooses what is important, who blocks out what is irrelevant, and who applies full presence to meaningful action becomes someone capable of extraordinary results. Your attention is not merely a tool, it defines the way you experience life, the depth of your work, and the height of your achievements. When focus becomes a non-negotiable habit, life changes. You move faster, think clearer, and act with certainty. You see opportunities others overlook, solve problems others avoid, and achieve results others deem impossible. The mind, once scattered and reactive, becomes sharp, decisive, and unstoppable. With focus as your foundation, every goal feels attainable, every challenge surmountable, and every dream moves within reach, powered by the full force of your unwavering attention. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. Every step toward your highest potential requires bravery, because growth demands that you leave comfort behind. Fear whispers lies, tells you to wait, to hesitate, to settle. Courage is the voice that responds, "I will act anyway." It is the fuel that turns possibility into reality, the force that transforms hesitation into achievement. True courage begins in small moments. Each choice to face discomfort, to speak your truth, to pursue what scares you strengthens your inner resolve. These decisions accumulate, building an unshakable foundation for bolder actions. Courage does not always roar. Often, it is quiet, persistent, and invisible. Yet its impact is undeniable. Each brave step reshapes your mind, your habits, and the trajectory of your life. Fear is natural, but it is also a signal. It shows where your growth lies, where your limits can be stretched, and where your potential waits to be claimed. Courage does not ignore fear. It faces it, studies it, and acts in alignment with purpose, regardless of its presence. Every time you move through fear, you expand the realm of what is possible, turning uncertainty into opportunity, anxiety into clarity, and hesitation into momentum. Courage demands commitment to yourself. It is a promise to honor your goals, to uphold your values, and to refuse surrender to doubt. When you commit fully, action becomes inevitable. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and begin asking, "What will I create if I try?" Courage transforms thinking from limitation to expansion, from reactive to proactive, from fear-driven to purpose-driven. Vulnerability is the companion of courage. To act boldly, you must expose yourself to risk, to judgment, and to uncertainty. This openness is not weakness. It is the essence of strength. Every time you embrace vulnerability, you deepen your capacity for resilience, empathy, and authentic connection. Courage without vulnerability is incomplete. Courage with vulnerability becomes unstoppable. Courage shapes identity. The person who consistently chooses to act despite fear becomes someone who cannot be defined by limits. Each brave decision rewires the mind, strengthens the spirit, and reinforces the belief that challenges exist to be overcome, not avoided. Your identity becomes aligned with action, empowerment, and relentless pursuit of what matters most. Momentum grows from courage. Every act of bravery fuels the next, creating a chain reaction that propels you forward. Once you move past fear, obstacles shrink, challenges lose their grip, and opportunities emerge with clarity. Courage is contagious, both within yourself and in the lives of those you influence. By embracing it, you inspire action, elevate standards, and cultivate a life that exceeds expectation. When courage becomes a guiding principle, fear no longer controls you. You act decisively, pursue your purpose with intensity, and take full ownership of your life. The world may resist, doubt may linger, and setbacks may appear, but courage transforms every barrier into a stepping stone. With courage as your foundation, your best self emerges, your potential unfolds, and every dream begins to feel within reach, powered by the unwavering strength of your boldest choices. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Dreams are fragile without it. Talent alone cannot carry you to your highest potential. Consistency, focus, and relentless effort are what turn desire into reality. Discipline is the muscle that strengthens every choice, every habit, every action. It does not wait for motivation. It creates momentum even when your energy falters. Discipline is rooted in self-respect. When you honor your commitments to yourself, you lay the foundation for success. Every small decision to stay focused, to resist distraction, and to push through resistance compounds over time. These choices become habits, habits become routines, and routines shape the architecture of your life. Discipline is the quiet force working behind the scenes, unseen yet undeniable, steering you toward your goals even when the path feels impossible. Your mind will often resist discipline. It will seek comfort, excuses, and shortcuts. This resistance is natural, but it is also an opportunity to grow stronger. Each time you act with discipline despite inner resistance, you expand your capacity for control, focus, and resilience. You prove to yourself that your actions are bigger than your impulses and that your future is shaped by deliberate choices rather than fleeting desires. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. It frees you from chaos, indecision, and regret. When you commit to consistent action, clarity emerges. You no longer wait for perfect conditions or external validation. You become the architect of your life, capable of creating results through persistence, structure, and unwavering effort. Discipline allows potential to be realized, talent to flourish, and goals to be achieved with precision. Every breakthrough in life is preceded by discipline. It is the quiet force behind every success, the steady hand guiding ambition into reality. Motivation will come and go, but discipline endures. It turns hard days into progress, setbacks into lessons, and ordinary effort into extraordinary results. When you cultivate discipline, you create a rhythm that carries you forward even through discomfort, fatigue, or uncertainty. Discipline demands awareness. You must know your priorities, understand your limits, and design routines that align with your highest purpose. It requires honesty with yourself, acknowledging where you falter, and taking immediate action to correct course. This self-awareness transforms discipline from rigid control into intelligent action. It becomes a tool, not a chain, allowing you to move efficiently toward what truly matters. Every disciplined action reinforces identity. The person who consistently chooses focus over distraction, effort over ease, and growth over comfort becomes someone who cannot be shaken by circumstance. Discipline shapes character, strengthens resolve, and creates a mindset where success is inevitable. You begin to see yourself not as a passenger in life, but as the driver, fully accountable and fully capable. When discipline is internalized, it becomes effortless. You act not out of obligation, but out of alignment with your goals and values. Each day, each choice, and each action builds on the last, creating a momentum that cannot be stopped. Discipline turns chaos into order, potential into mastery, and dreams into lived reality. Through discipline, you claim control of your life, and in doing so, you unlock the power to do your absolute best.